Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to go through some of the plants that I'm currently propagating. So I've already chopped all these plants up. I just want to show you guys kind of how I propagate and talk a little bit about each plant. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And yeah, let's just jump right into today's video. Okay, so I have a mixture of aroids and HOYAs here, so I'll kind of go through each one with you guys. I'll start off with the ones that I'm currently propagating in water. So this is my little pot of HOYA rotundiflora. So I have so many little cuttings in here. Ooh, spilled water everywhere. Let's clean that up. The pot of water was too full. And when I tilted it, all the water came out, but yeah, that's okay. Once again, this is the HOYA rotundiflora, so I have a bunch of cuttings in here. And what happened with this was my plant was getting a little too long, and I had to trellis it up, which I don't really like that look. I like when the base of the plant is really bushy and it just is trailing nicely. But this one I had like, I think one or two really long like stem. My cat wants to come in. Look who has joined us again. It is the beloved Bobo. Here, go. Okay, so back to what I was saying about my HOYA rotundiflora. So with this one, the plant was just getting too big, too long, and too messy looking, so that's why I decided to chop it all down and have a bunch of like maybe 2 to 4 leaf pieces, so that easier to root, number one, and number two, I can just make a fuller looking pot at the bottom of the plant. So yeah, this is currently just rooting away in some water. It's been like 2 days, so obviously no roots have grown yet, and I find with smaller plants it's also a lot easier to treat for mealybugs. So I had this plant become infested with mealybugs, and it was just such a bitch, honestly. Such a huge issue to try to treat it, because it was like the mealybugs would hide in different crevices. Can you relax, please, sir? Nobody asked. Anyway, yeah, so that one is my HOYA rotundiflora. Next up, I do want to talk about my various cutting container. So this one has a bunch of different cuttings in here, so I'll go through each one. Obviously the main one is this little baby, which is my HOYA SARAWAK. So this is my beloved SARAWAK that I recently got, I think maybe like 1 month ago, and it was originally really tightly rooted into this super compact moss. It was just so super difficult to remove the moss off of the roots. So when I tried to, after like literally 2 hours with like tweezers and like patience, it still decided to just kind of break a lot of the roots, and I think it was just too stressed. So I think most of the roots did rot off when I transferred it to pond, and therefore I do have to reroot it. But I'm not too mad about it, because I do see a bunch of little like bumps, which are the start of new roots. It looks really creepy actually, but this is how I find a lot of like HOYA roots start when they're in water. They just come out as little bumps, and then they'll eventually kind of like emerge out of the stem. But yeah, hopefully it roots soon, because it's been a long time. Moving on, I do want to talk about this one, which is my MANJULA pothos. So I have 2 big fat leaves here. So I recently just gave it a little chop, because I found that the leaves they're really beautiful, and it was a really nice plant and really healthy and grown really quickly. It was just that the one long piece that I had like 5, 6, 7 leaves on, it looked a little long and leggy, so I wanted to make it more compact and make it a nice bushy full plant, have more growth points. So yeah, I've decided to root these in water so that I can see when the tips have started to grow, which you can see here. The white tips are the start of new roots, and it came out of an aerial root, which I love propagating pothos because they always have aerial roots and it's very easy to root them in water. So I'm gonna put this back into its original pot where the leca is, and it'll just be growing in semi-hydro. So it's a good kind of a beginner way to have your plants do well in leca, is to originally root them in water, because it's essentially the same thing. Water, semi-hydro, very similar. Next up, I want to show you guys my CEBU blue. So I have a few cuttings here of my CEBU blue pothos, and this one is doing really well and starting to root, but not as apparent because it's just very short. I literally just cut it I think like 2-3 days ago, so it's still trying to root, and I do want to like plant it back into my really full pot of Cebu Blue pothos. I don't know if it's gonna fit honestly because it's like so full. I don't know if you guys can tell from the top, but every time there's like some empty nodes, I do chop those kind of like wet sticks and I put it into a container of moss, but the other pieces I do just root it into water and then I try to plant it back. If there's not enough space, I will have to probably make a new pot. We don't know. Can you behave, please? Everyone wants to see you in this video, but the reason why I don't let you come in is because you're such a little troublemaker. Okay, next up I do want to show you guys the things that I have rooting in moss. So I have them in these little like takeout containers where the lid I'll make some holes. So this one has 2 holes. Another takeout container style is like this where the lid is attached and then you could just open and close it. This little guy here, I have a bunch of different cuttings. Mainly they are Cebu Blue pothos, so the wet sticks, I have a bunch of wet sticks in here, and I also have like a little SYNGONIUM ALBO in here, which is so cute. This one has really good variegation. I'm actually so surprised. I think there's 2 separate little plants in here, so both of them look really good, like very variegated and just good genes, you know. Bunch of things that I'm unsure what it is in here because sometimes I just throw wet sticks in here and I like forget about it, but I think most of it should be Cebu Blue. So yeah, I just keep a layer of moss and then I spray it every now and then, but with the lid on, it pretty much keeps the moss pretty moist, so you don't really have to do much with it. It's very low maintenance, which is what I love about propagating in moss. Okay, so the other container of cuttings I have in here is this one, which has a bunch of random sticks as well. I'm not really sure what's in here. I think there may be some Cebu Blue, some varicosum sticks, and I have my little melanochrysum here, which is actually in need of a repot. I need to take this out because I think it's like, it's pretty much good to go. Like it's essentially rooted really well. There's 2 beautiful leaves down here, and you can see at the bottom that there are a bunch of roots peeking out. So it's doing its job, this little container. So I like to propagate in these containers. It looks really grimy. It's actually quite disgusting. Yeah, very easy. I've propagated a lot of melanochrysums like this in just these little takeout containers. So yeah, that pretty much concludes all the plants I wanted to show you guys. I mainly have HOYAs that are propagating in water and more so aeroids that are propagating in moss. I have no like set ways on how I like to propagate, but usually it's water, moss, or soil. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below if you guys are propagating anything right now. I would love to know. My most nerve-wracking propagation is probably my HOYA SARAWAK because I spent so much money on it, and I'm trying to regrow it, so it's different from the other propagations because I already have those other plants and they're just becoming like seconds, or I'm making a bushier plant, but the SARAWAK is my one and only. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.